Good morning, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. Welcome to this thing that I do called Thor's Entertainment. I am Thor, and today I'm doing another Resident Evil 2 remake video. I recently completed the storylines for Claire and Leon. Played through Scenario 1 as Claire and Scenario 2 as Leon, so we got to see the true ending of Resident Evil 2. And it concluded with us having 3 confirmed survivors. Well, technically 4, but the character of Ada is presumed dead by the other characters, so we're not counting her. 3 survivors were Leon, Claire, and Sherry. But having completed the story mode for Resident Evil 2, it's time to dive into the extra modes. One of which is going to be the 4th survivor. So yeah, it turns out there are actually 4 survivors, again not counting Ada, and we're going to be playing through the extra mode that covers that number 4. That is going to be Hunk, the covert agent for Umbrella. Turns out he's the only surviving member of the USS team that we kept seeing the bodies for all around the sewers and also within Nest. And he is trying to evacuate out of Raccoon City, but I'll let the summary cover that here in just a moment. Now, whenever it comes to these extra modes, I'll show you your best record as far as the amount of time it took you to beat that mode. All of them are kind of short. And my idea with all these extra modes is to show the very first time I actually managed to complete them. So this is not going to be optimized in any way. There's definitely going to be a bunch of screw-ups, but it's going to be a fun ride. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it and get to know Hunk. And the summary reads, September 1998. Umbrella's private special ops group USS assaulted the secret lab Nest. Someone quotes, "Are you sure we shouldn't make a will?" The soldiers of the unit all look to one man as they laugh. Someone else says, "Doesn't matter how tough the mission is, we will survive." Then someone else remarks, "Even if the unit gets wiped out, he always comes back." The USS Grim Reaper. And at that time, everyone laughed off the man's ominous nickname as a bad joke. But now that man is the only one left standing. The one who is used to the stench of death, the smell of his fallen comrades. No one knows who he really is. All they know is his code name, Hunk. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into it.
This is Nighthawk. Come in, Alpha. Alpha, do you read?
Nighthawk, this is Hunk from Alpha Team.
Man, I thought you were all wiped out. I've been trying
I'm
to...
at point K-12. Need info on my extraction.
Guess there's no keeping down the Grim Reaper, huh?
My extraction point.
Relax, Mr. Reaper. I'm headed toward the front gate of RPD. Pick you up there.
Got it.
I am now in control of Hunk, and things are about to get very chaotic very quickly. I'm going to wait up here for the zombies to get locked into their climbing animation, then I'm going to climb down and run away. But while I'm waiting for that to happen, I'll go ahead and start off by saying that this is going to be nothing like the story mode. It's going to be much faster, there are going to be way more enemies clustered together from start to finish. There's not going to be any saving, there are no storage boxes that you can use, and there are no items that you can pick up along the way. Instead, we are starting off with our inventory being packed full of guns, ammo, gunpowder, healing items, defensive items, like everything you could possibly imagine. And crap, we have an ankle biter. I did not want to take damage this early, but at least this one is going to be pretty minor. And at first, it's going to seem like we're maybe a little bit overstocked. Like maybe we have more than enough items to get through this whole thing without it being a problem. But once things really start getting going, we're going to be running through all those items very quickly, and then suddenly it's going to feel like we don't have enough. Okay, from here the game is going to start throwing dogs at us, and I'm just going to have to run and dodge for my life. I end up zigzagging by the first group of dogs and just run by all the zombies after that until I end up hitting the sewer water treatment bridge. At that point, I can't just run by the zombies, I have to kneecap them and also continue to dodge more dogs. Through these early parts, I would ideally only sparingly use the handgun and the assault rifle, although I am willing to use the combat knife if I absolutely have to, like if I'm grabbed. Speaking of which, goodbye to the combat knife, but at least I didn't take too much damage in here, although one of the dogs did manage to bite me and I'm in cautious health, but that'll be alright. But really, I'm trying to get through this area using as little ammo and hopefully not healing at all, because things will only get much more difficult as we progress. Just a couple more shots and he is done. Oh shit, okay, maybe not. But we are in the clear, so that is fine. Now we just use the assault rifle to take out the legs of a small group of zombies, and then we are going to ascend some stairs to the first required item point for me. Now there may be better ways of getting around this, but I personally need a grenade for what's about to happen. So that's going to be my first required item. We're going to encounter 2 adult Gs. One creeps up on you and the other one charges at you. I throw the grenade as soon as the charge begins. It grabs me briefly, the grenade explodes, and then it stuns the 2 Gs, and I just run away as fast as I can. And I should probably go ahead and equip that grenade, that way I actually have it available and I don't screw this next part up. While playing through this, I had not beat the 4th survivor mode entirely yet, but I had a good idea of where I wanted to use all the grenades to include the hand grenades and the flash grenades, and that was a really important one because I couldn't come up with a good method of getting around the Gs without using it. I will need another one of the hand grenades here soon though because, well, for now we're just running away from all the zombies. We will eventually stop at the one at the very top of the stairs, shoot it in the head to stun it. And after we do that, we're going to take an elevator ride, and after that, we're going to be in the basement area of the chemical plant, which inside that basement area, it's going to be stuffed with zombies just hanging out in the dark, and that's where that hand grenade is going to solve that problem. Now, there may be a better place to use the second hand grenade other than the basement area, but that is my number 2 spot for the hand grenade usage. I have tried out the flash grenade there. It seems to get most of them stunned, but for some reason there's always like one that just is not stunned and grabs me right before I get through it without any issues, and well... And again, I'm trying to get through as much of this early portion without taking damage as possible, so that's not ideal. Although the grenade managed to kill all the zombies in this room, so that worked out. And then you have to open a door to get to the basement area too, and you have to stand in that door in order to shoot the zombies. And if you do that, one of the zombies is bound to reach you, or it's going to be wasting a bunch of ammo. We have a big enemy up ahead, and actually I need my shotgun for this. I can normally shotgun my way through this encounter without taking any damage, but that's definitely not happening here today. Oh crap, okay, this is where the liquor encounter went about as badly as it could have, short of me dying. Now, having to heal was something I was definitely willing to live with because it's not the end of the world, but then you add on top of that I wasted a bunch of shotgun shells, and worst of all, I wasted a grenade on the liquor. And then suddenly this could have gone a lot better. I would much rather have kept that hand grenade to save me or bail me out of something bad towards the end of this mode whenever things get harder. Because as of the time I was playing this, I had not seen the end of this mode yet. I did not know how bad it was going to get, but I assumed it was going to get pretty rough. And it would have been really nice to have that hand grenade as just a little bit of insurance to bail me out if I needed it. It's all good though, we're going to press on and try making this work. I'm just going to go ahead and run by this next zombie and wait until the very last possible moment to heal using a green, red, blue herb. That way I will get fully healed, I'll also get some damage resistance, and that resistance will last for as long as possible between the next gauntlet of enemies. And when it comes to the next group of enemies, they are all going to be munching on some dead body, so I can get pretty close without them being aggravated by me, and then right before they get motivated to attack me, that's where I'm going to heal. I just need to get to the ladder for safety. And thank you, invincibility frames! And in case you did not know, you cannot be attacked while climbing on a ladder. So the parking garage is where I need to use my first flash grenade. There are just too many zombies in the area around me, and there's no good route to run around them. So I'll wait until the last possible moment to throw the flash grenade, so a zombie will grab me, the flash grenade will detonate, and then it's going to stun that zombie and every other zombie in the area. Don't worry about the zombie crawling on the ground, that's not your main concern. Just do not run through this area. The expectation is that you'll run, and it turns out there are lickers in this area that will attack you, and you do not want that. So just casually walk by the crawling zombie, and then proceed on to the police station so we can get evacuated, which we are getting really close to getting that done. With everything going according to plan, this really has not been all that bad. Then again, this is a Resident Evil game, and when in any of these video games has a plan gone according to plan? And speaking of things not going according to plan, I'm pretty sure that Hunk did not get any sort of files or briefings about having to escape from a tyrant like Mr. X, so yay, we have that going on for us now. Flash grenade number 2 incoming, which, knowing all that we do about the story mode and how Mr. X either died at Leon's hands or was killed by Mr. William Birkin, and now we're dealing with him here as well with Hunk, I can't help but wonder how many of these tyrants Umbrella dropped into the city.
What the hell, Hunk? You're late for extraction.
Front door's blocked. Gotta find another way out.
Heads up. You guys at the top just ordered a full cleanup on Raccoon City.
But with Mr. X showing up so many times even after being killed, there's just no way it's the same tyrant. Although I do appreciate the dedication by Umbrella to make sure their tyrants are extra fashionable, all of which are wearing these black trench coats and black fedoras, so say what you will about the evil corporation of pharmaceutical geniuses who create a zombie virus, at least they have a very good sense for fashion. And speaking of our fashionable tyrant friend, I hear his footsteps now, and we're just going to dodge him on the second floor. I don't know what it is about this mode as opposed to story mode, but I'm having much better luck here dodging Mr. X than I did anywhere else in this game. And we're just cutting through the locker rooms to get to the STARS office hallway, which is where I have died probably the most in this mode so far, because there's been a lot of times where I had really bad luck and no defensive items, and in that hallway are the plant people. Which I've said that a bunch of times, but the plant people are just instant kill machines. If they grab you and you don't have a defensive item, well, you're going to die. Up ahead is the library, and there is going to be a zombie trying to break down the library door. Just make sure you're running to the rightmost part of that door as it's broken down. That way you just run through the door and by the zombie without it being able to get you. Then you should be able to get through the library very easily since all the zombies are just starting to wake up, so you just run by them, and then you're off to the second floor of the entrance hall. Once we are there, we just run by the zombie dog eating a dead body. I don't know if that zombie dog ever ends up chasing after you if you linger around long enough, but he has never once gone after me, at least not to my knowledge. And okay, in the waiting room, we're just going to break out the shotgun and start shooting all the zombies that break down and start running through the door. We should be able to take all of them out as they start funneling in. And where the hell did you come from? Ah, screw it, I'm using the last flash grenade. Seriously though, I went back and watched the footage over again in slow motion. That zombie in the checkered patterned collared shirt, he does not go through the door with the other zombies. And at no point in my path running into the waiting room do you see that zombie. I have no idea where it came from before it attacked me. I guess that's just going to be one of life's many great mysteries. Okay, cool, I managed to dodge the liquor. So okay, we're going to go upstairs. And this, whenever I was playing the game, was the furthest point I had made it to in this mode. So I had no idea what was ahead of me from this point forward. I was just trying to survive and be ready for whatever the game decided to throw at me. And I did not know that was going to be there. Hunk, just be happy that you're wearing that gas mask, otherwise this would be a lot worse. Well, okay, at this point, this is as good a time as any to bust out the red-blue herb so I get some damage resistance and also some immunity to poison and get rid of the poison that I had. And the adult G is blocking the ladder. And okay, cool, I did not know if he was going to move or not, so I will take that.
Hunk, time's up.
Don't get caught. Get out.
I'm not gonna just leave you.
Yours.
God damn it.
So Hunk has very few speaking lines, even in his own mode, so it is a little bit surprising how good that last line of his is. I did not know I was going to be fighting multiple lickers over his dialogue, so it might have been hard to hear, but Hunk tells Nighthawk to leave without him. He says in a very somber line that this is war, survival is your responsibility. And that could have easily just been a throwaway line to kind of make him sound like a generic tough guy, but there might have been a little bit more depth to it than just that. Now, remembering that Hunk is called the Grim Reaper as kind of a dark joke because he's always the sole survivor while all the rest of his teammates on his missions, they always die. So keeping that in mind, what he told Nighthawk is likely a line that he has told himself to kind of cope with that and try to avoid the survivor's guilt and try not to place any blame or responsibility on himself whenever they died. Just saying that survival was their responsibility, not his. Then he says it here to convince Nighthawk to go away, but I think he was also kind of telling himself the same thing because this whole mission is a failure and that's on Hunk. And if he is thinking that, then he's also probably thinking he does not want to get another ally killed just because he fucked up. And that there's been plenty of that already. Now I'm probably looking into this a little bit too deeply, but I think it was a really good line, and given the history of the character, whether it was deliberate or inadvertent, there was a good amount of depth to it and I like it. So I just barely managed to get through the whole mob of the adult G, the plant person, and all the zombies, and I really could have used that grenade I wasted on the liquor back there, but we're still alive. I made sure I had plenty of ammo for whatever happens up ahead. We are nearly to the front of the Raccoon City police station, then we're going to be out into the city, so hopefully we're nearly done, but for the time being, we're at least still alive. And we will see what happens.
Why'd you come back?
I wanted to meet the Grim Reaper.
And that is it. The trophy popped. That was the very first time I managed to beat the 4th survivor mode. So I had no idea when I was mixing that gunpowder together that I was like 10 feet away from the very end of the mode. So mixing all that to get more ammunition was completely pointless. I could have just healed and then bulldozed my way to the exit, but I had no idea what was around the corner, so... I mean, better to be prepared. For all I knew, I was going to have to fight Mr. X again or something. But no, it turns out that right around the corner was the end, and I finally did get the achievement for Grim Reaper, and then I think that's when no, for a moment I thought I 100% of the game there, but I would get that in a different achievement later on, but yeah, it was still pretty cool in the moment. And we managed to clock it in at exactly 12 minutes, which is perfectly fine by me, especially for my first time beating this thing. So yeah, that was Hunk, the official survivor number 4 for Resident Evil 2. Now, like I said back at the very beginning of this video, we as the people playing the game know that Ada did survive. So there are at least 5 survivors from this game alone. And then that's still not even accounting for the characters in Resident Evil 3 that managed to survive as well, since Resident Evil 3 takes place before, during, and after the events of Resident Evil 2. So yeah, calling Hunk survivor number 4 is kind of possibly disingenuous, like there were only 4 survivors, but you know, it's fine. We'll just say he was number 4 in the grand total of survivors, because there are a few. Anyway, I would like to say that I advertised for that mode pretty well, because back in the very beginning I said things were going to get very chaotic very quickly. And yeah, I ended up getting swarmed and attacked by everything from hordes of zombies, to zombie dogs, to plant people, to adult Gs. One random collared shirt zombie that just appeared out of nowhere because he absolutely was not on screen at any point and just randomly shows up attacking me. Oh, and Mr. X, he also decided to make an appearance. Oh, and Lickers, because I got completely fucked up by a Licker as well. Yeah, there were just all kinds of things causing me to have a pretty bad time. Well, causing Hunk to have a bad time. I was having a great time. I think that mode's fun. So yeah, it's way shorter than the story mode, but that's perfectly fine for what it is because it's meant to be very challenging and very hectic and very short, and it definitely lives up to all of that. And if you are not wanting to play an entire Resident Evil game but still want to be challenged, well, you could definitely do a lot worse. But that is where I'm going to wrap this one up. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to check out the other videos I have for Resident Evil 2. And if you go to the Thor's Entertainment channel, I have a bunch of other videos for other games as well, to include the original remake of Resident Evil 1, as well as a bunch of other stuff like Mortal Kombat and Crash Bandicoot. But yeah, thank you again for watching. Take care, and hopefully I see you next time.